Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about occipital bone, and here at the side you can see the diagrammatic representation of skull showing occipital bone. So let's start our topic with introduction. Occipital bone is a major component of human skull, forming the posterior and inferior aspect of cranial vault. It not only provides essential protection for brain, particularly the cerebellum and brainstem, but also serves as a critical point of attachment for muscles and ligaments. Understanding its structure and development is fundamental in fields ranging from neurosurgery to forensic science. Now let's talk about location and key features of occipital bone. Occipital bone is located at the back of skull and contributes to the formation of cranial base. It is characterized by several regions and features, and these regions and features include squamous part, that is a large posterior area that forms the majority of the occipital bone outer surface. Then it has basilar part, that is a thick central section that forms part of the cranial base articulating with the sphenoid bone. Then it has condylar part, that is the two lateral projection that extend downward articulating with the first cervical vertebra, that is at least to allow for head movements. And the next part it has is foramen magnum, that is a prominent large opening in the center of occipital bone through which the spinal cord passes and connect with the brainstem. Now let's talk about the key features of occipital bone. The first key feature is external occipital protuberance, that is a palpable bump at the midline on the external surface of occipital bone, which serves as an important landmark for muscle attachment such as trapezial muscle attachment and nuchal muscle attachment. Second feature includes superior and inferior nuchal lines, that are the curved ridges extending laterally from the external occipital protuberance. Superior nuchal line marks a site of muscle attachment for semi-spinal capitis, while the inferior nuchal line is where the oblique capitis inferior attaches. Then next feature is foramen magnum, that is a large opening at the base of skull, is not only a passageway for spinal cord but also provide an entry point for vascular structures like vertebral arteries and supportive membranes like meninges that support the central nervous system. Now let's talk about articulations of occipital bone. Occipital bone establishes critical structural relationship with several adjacent cranial bones, and these articulations include parietal bone, that when occipital bone meet the parietal bone along the lambdoid suture. Temporal bone. It articulates with the temporal bone laterally contributing to overall stability of the skull. Sphenoid bone. The basilar part of occipital bone connects with the sphenoid bone, playing a key role in forming the cranial base. And these sutures allow for slight flexibility during growth and protect against the transmission of mechanical forces. Now let's talk about development and ossification of occipital bone. Occipital bone develops through both membranous and endochondral ossification. As talking about its ossification center, there are multiple ossification centers that appear during fetal development, which later fuse to form the mature bone. The complex pattern of ossification accounts for the bone's intricate structure. Talking about the fusion process of these ossification center, and so the fusion of these center continue after birth, influenced by both genetic and environmental factors. The timely closure of these fusion points is important for the proper functioning and protection of brain, as delayed or premature fusion can have clinical implications. Now let's talk about significance of occipital bone. The first significance is protection of vital structure, as the occipital bone provides cerebellum and brainstem both cortical for motor control and autonomic functions. Second significance is craniovertebral junction. Its condylar part from the articular surface forms the atlas facilitate nodding and rotational movement of the head. Third significance is surgical consideration. In neurosurgery, the occipital bone landmarks guide surgeons during procedure involving the posterior cranial fossa. Any fracture or defect in this region may impact the spinal cord or vertebral arteries. Fourth significance is pathological condition. As occipital bone fracture, although less common compared to other cranial fracture, can be serious and require precise diagnostic imaging and intervention to prevent neurological complications. Now let's talk about the conclusion of this lecture video. Occipital bone is structurally complex yet fundamentally important bone that contributes significantly to form and function of human skull. Its role in protecting the central nervous system, enabling head movement, and serving as site of muscular attachment underlines its relevance in both clinical and academic settings. A thorough understanding of its anatomy, development, and associated clinical issues is essential for medical professionals and students alike. So this was all about Occipital bone. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching.